Alright, so working on the Mustang again here. As you can see, I went and pulled this header back off, so it's just tacked right now. We're going to clean it up, we're going to weld it all the way around. That way it can get put back on, and it'll be done. Now I'm working on the coils. So the coils were on top of the valve covers. I'm going to move them because if they were still on the valve covers, the spark plugs wires would be on the headers and all kinds of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount them down here on the frame of the car. So if we go down here with them, they're going to go something like that right there, and the wires are just going to come over straight to them. Now, mounting them like that, these coils are flipped, so they were like that, now they're like that. So that means this coil, or this plug, is supposed to go to the front cylinder and so on as we go down. So what I'm going to have to do is unplug all of these, switch them all the other way around so that this one starts at the front and goes to the back because we rotated it 180 degrees. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Mount it somewhere down here by the frame rail of the car, underneath the header. Header's still going to have the heat shields on them. So this is why we can't leave them like this, because that's the only way for the spark plug wires to go, and they're literally resting on the headers. They will completely melt, and these coils are going to get really hot there. So get those moved, get them down, get them out of the way of the heat, get them mounted, put them on, and then we got to make sure all our coil wires reach. They're probably not going to. We're going to have to extend them. So we'll get going on that. Alright, so what I went ahead and did is I welded two studs. They're actually bolts, but now they're studs because they're welded to the frame of the car. So there's one there, one there. Take the coil pack, bring it down here, drop it on right there. Goes on right there. Put two nuts on it and it's mounted. All your spark plug wires, just do this short loop right here, and that's mounted. So that's nice and simple. Gonna pull the header off the other side, do the exact same thing to the other side, get those mounted up, and then go back to working on the exhaust now that we know the coils are going to be able to be mounted out of the way of the exhaust. Alright, so coils are fully mounted on both sides. Here's the driver's side. Here is the passenger side. All the spark plug wires are on. So now we got to work on exhaust. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean this guy up, weld it all the way around, then we can put both headers back on the car now that the coils are on underneath, and start working on the rest of the exhaust. That's going to go over and up and T together. Alright, so we got this passenger side header fully welded up all the way around. So now we're going to get it put back in the car. We can only put 4 bolts in because the last 2 are broken off in the block, and I'm going to fix that when we take the engine out again, which is not going to be right now. So we're going to run it with 4 bolts for the meantime. Alrighty, so keeping on with the exhaust here. So we have the driver's side done now. So this is a Y. All of this pipe is the old Mustang exhaust, the old V6 Mustang exhaust. This Y was where the 2 headers came down and met together. So I've taken the Y, the one side, we did a whole bunch of pie cuts, comes up, around, into that header. Our O2 sensor is still right here, out of the way. You don't even see it down there. So that's good. Now this Y is going to go straight down and over to the part we made before, and that part should be pretty easy because I got already a bend with a 90 in it that was from the old Mustang exhaust too. So we're going to take this off now, get this side fully welded up, get it fully bolted on. As you can see, it moves a little bit, so we know exactly where it's going to go. We're going to have to cut this fender out just a tiny bit to get clearance for that pipe. Put a V-band on the bottom of here so you can pull it off from the bottom, and then make the other piece. Alrighty, so there it is, all welded up. Not the prettiest, but it'll definitely work. Should not leak anywhere. It is all getting wrapped in heat wrap, so you really won't see any of that anyways. Now I'm going to trim this fender and then start working on the crossover from the other side. Alright, so got the crossover in, so the complete exhaust is in. The bottom part under here, the crossover is just tacked together. It comes down, goes in there, goes across, underneath the car, up through the fender, comes up, there's a V-band right there, and merges into this one. So they both come out here. This is eventually going to get chopped off. A V-band's going to go on there, the turbo sits on top. But now I'm going to pull that crossover out, weld it up completely, and then get everything completely back in, make sure it all fits good. Got to do a little bit more trimming here, just touching just there, just a little bit, and get it all back together. Alright, so exhaust is fully done. Everything's bolted up, everything comes through. So we're going to stop there for today, and next time I'm going to work on getting all the wiring situated, start cleaning stuff up. I think the computer and fuse box are going to go there, and the battery's going to go in the trunk. So we'll get working on that next time.